In 2011, my mom was diagnosed with brain cancer, and we were told 6 months to a year. Did all kinds of radiation, all that stuff, and I always say God said, watch this, because we had her until 2017. I didn't really date while she was sick. I felt like she was my purpose, and she actually died in my arms in June. I say that she sent my husband because she passed in June and I met him in October, and we got married in 2019, and we started trying for our own family. We tried many times. He eventually banned pregnancy tests out of the house, because anytime I would have a sniffle the wrong way, I would take a pregnancy test, like just praying and hoping, and the point that every negative one just crushed both of us. Eventually, OB was like, okay, it's time. We've got to go to a specialist and let's, see what's going on. He was okay, and I was not. They said that our only chance to get pregnant was IVF. And of course, that's a ton of money. Again, by the grace of God, we were saving up for an AC unit, and we did not get an AC unit. We went for a baby. They did all kinds of stuff, and we had one baby. And by the grace of God, I got pregnant. We saw his heartbeat. It was the most beautiful thing I think I've ever seen. Not even a week later, I started bleeding. We prayed. We went to the doctor, and he had a heartbeat, but it was slow. And the doctor only gave us options to end. And of course, I told my husband, I'm not. If he has a heartbeat, we're fighting. I went home, got off my feet, and we prayed. And we prayed, and we prayed, and we prayed. February 16th, my husband's birthday, we went back, and there was no heartbeat. I thought, that's it. I'm not going to be able to be a mommy. I hated myself because I felt like I'm a woman. I want to have a baby. Why can't my body work? Especially being told by the doctor that it was all me. It was my fault. And we tried again, started over, and we ended with 2. And we went for our second transfer to try. And I felt like I was pregnant. I was 100% convinced that we are going to be parents again. I had symptoms, and when we did the pregnancy test, it was negative. And again, complete other heartbreak. The first time that we lost our son, we asked the gender, and we named him Samuel because I resonate with Hannah in the Bible. And so when we lost the second one, we just decided to not know. That my husband just thought it would just be too hard. We had one more chance, and the doctor was like, take your time and just tell us when you're ready. Months and months later, I finally said, I think I'm ready. I messaged them, and they said, okay, your next period will start. So I thought, okay, it's completely in God's hands. Whenever it starts, it's God's way of saying it's time. So around Mother's Day of last year, I started my period, and I called and I said, okay, I started, let's start. Didn't even realize it until probably like after we started all of the injections and hormones that it was around Mother's Day. We did everything, and June of last year, we were told we were pregnant. So last year was my first June that I was not somber, because usually since my mom passed, June it's just not my favorite month. We were over the moon that we were pregnant. And we went, we saw heartbeat, everything was good. I was at church getting ready to serve, and I started bleeding, and I completely panicked, went home, got off my feet, went to the doctor the next day, and by the grace of God, she had a heartbeat. Everything was okay. They just told me, you got to be off your feet for a few days. So for a week, I stayed and binge watched TV and just prayed and prayed and prayed and prayed. We eventually got to our next point that IVF and fertility doctor said, you are cleared. You get to go to OB now. Left them, and then I was at work one day. I work in a children's ER, and I started bleeding again, this time way heavier. I called, and they're like, you need to go to the ER. Was panicked because, are we losing her? I don't know. At this point, we knew we were having a girl, but we get back there, and I'm crying, and I'm just, begging, is there a heartbeat? And she did. And again, another bout of bed rest. And we had one more bout of bleeding. But again, everything was okay. The song Trust in God hits way differently because we were pregnant last year whenever it came out that they started singing it in church. And when it said, I sought the Lord and he heard and he answered. I feel like that was God saying, yes, I did. You prayed, you kept true. And February 2nd of this year, I got to be a mommy. So this will be my first Mother's Day that I get to celebrate and mourn and all of the above. He has blessed me with a little girl. That is my world.